Thank you, Mark. Yeah, we're really excited for this session today. And what our goal is to answer this question and give SaaS's and customer intelligence's opinion on will agents take over your marketing department. Along the way, we'll talk about our approach to agents, talk a little bit about our roadmap, and we have some really cool demos as well. So jumping right in, I think an important starting point is to talk about where we see the future of marketers and agents and kind of the division of labor within marketing. And I think it's important to accept up front that agents are great at execution. And what I mean by that is when there are well-defined tasks with verifiable outputs, agents do a really good job here. They can often do this much quicker and more efficiently than humans. In marketing, there are a lot of tasks that line up with this. Think about doing data analysis, QAing a decision flow you designed, taking instructions and creating an audience or a journey, things like this. Agents really excel here. But I think it's also important to remember that there are these higher order decisions that marketing's make, and I think that does a lot more to move the needle for these organizations. So think about things like how you allocate your budget, your channel strategy, your creative direction that you take. These are the types of things that agents struggle with today and are much better left to humans. And so this kind of brings us to the answer of our question on what does the future of agents look like in marketing? First of all, I think we adamantly say that marketing teams aren't going anywhere, right? Humans are very important in this process. But what we would encourage you to think about is think about the future of marketing when you're augmented by dozens and dozens or hundreds of agents helping your team and what your throughput is going to look like in that future. We think it's going to be a pretty dramatic difference. And so with that being said, I'd love for Cameron to do a little bit to introduce our agentic strategy.
And how do you cut through that noise to really find a vendor you can trust? We believe differentiation won't come from the models, but the ways in which agents integrate, align, and bring value to the business. And when you think of an agent, it's really, really easy to fall into the trap of just thinking about the modeling or the reasoning unit. But really the harness, which is the code, the infrastructure, the way those decisions become actions, is really what's going to differentiate agents. And when we look at what makes a really good harness, there's a couple of key components. The first is the coordination and collaboration between multiple agents. Next, we have the data layer. You need good data to make good decisions. Then you have your tools and APIs. This takes all of the reasoning and decisioning done by LLMs and actually puts it into the business. Otherwise, it's just text. Then you have your escalation. Balancing that human judgment that Mac was just talking about with the automation from the agents. And then lastly, we have our guardrails, preventing harmful action and keeping things in line with the ways in which we want things to run. So Mac, can you contextualize this into CI for us?
Customer Intelligence 360 is our flagship marketing solution, available software as a service. It's comprised of a lot of different modules, so we really can do a lot here. But at a high level, think about we ingest data, we get a 360-degree view of the customer, and we make it really easy to orchestrate with that data, set up journeys, both scheduled in real time, and then activate that data at the channel level. And across the bottom, we have 2 new modules that we're really excited to bring to market, all around real-time decisioning and making AI easier to activate for marketing organizations. And so when we think about our agentic strategy, really what we want to do is provide an agentic layer across the entire solution. And the way that we're going about this is with what we call a multi-agent approach. And what this means at a high level is that our users will interact with a single agent. You could think of that as the SaaS 360 agent. But this agent, underneath it, will have a whole army or plethora of sub-agents that it can use to help handle tasks or requests from the user. So think about an audience or journey agent that are capable of setting up audiences, putting together journeys, getting them ready to activate. You could think about a search agent that can locate objects in the system, help stitch things together. And so the idea is, in the long run, our multi-agent will have dozens of agents that are all domain experts in different parts of our solution. And so when I think at a very high level about what is our vision for the 360 agent, I think if we can deliver 4 core capabilities, we'll have an incredibly robust agent that's going to save our marketers a lot of time in the solution, close that gap to going from a plan to actually executing and launching a campaign. First of all, the agent should be able to operate that solution. That means it should be able to create audiences, journeys, set up emails, set up all the touch points, help you do personalization, whatever you need in the tool. Second, it should be able to search. Good agents are aware of their environment. If it's creating a journey, for example, it should be able to reason and find the appropriate objects to use in that journey, like what audience we want to use for targeting or who should be held out, locate all the touch points and channels that we need as well. The third one is analyze. So CI360 has a really impressive data model, over 100 tables that collects email campaign history or real-time behavior on your website. We want our agent to be able to reason over that data, to identify opportunities alongside marketers, create reports, create audiences, things like that. And then finally, research. We have a lot of documentation on how to best use CI360. We have a massive knowledge base. We want our agent to be able to leverage that as it's completing tasks on behalf of the user. And so now we want to talk a little bit about where we're starting with this. We want to deliver this incrementally, roll out new agents on monthly, quarterly basis, that sort of thing. So we started really in the operate and search area, and you may have already seen this a little bit at Innovate, but we're really excited that we had our first agentic release actually a couple weeks back. This was with our journeys and search agents. And so instead of just talking about it, I think it'd be awesome if we hopped into the software.
Yeah, so before I hop into the software, I just want to quickly show what I'm going to be utilizing for this demo. This is just a quick PDF that I threw together with some details about a journey I want to create, as well as an image of my whiteboard. Obviously, that image of my whiteboard is horrendous, but we're going to see that the agent is able to handle that. So if I jump into CI, welcome to CI. If you don't know where our Copilot and agentic capabilities live, they live up here in this little circular button. And that opens up our Copilot and agentic area. So I'm going to start by uploading that PDF file that we were just looking at, and then ask it to create me this journey. So in that document, I had outlined the journey that I wanted to create and had that horrendous whiteboard drawing. And we're going to see the agent's going to go through and read that whiteboard diagram, be able to understand it even with all the glare from the lighting and my horrendous handwriting. So that just shows you how flexible these agents are in picking up that information in whatever format you want to provide it in. It's going out now and searching for some of the objects that I had named specifically in that whiteboard drawing, and it's going to go find those. When we were talking about the harness earlier, we were talking about that collaboration between multiple agents and how that really makes it an effective harness, and that's what we're seeing here. We can utilize the search agent to get information and then leverage that when we're creating a journey. So now that it's found some information, it's developed me a plan. Obviously, we've talked about guardrails a lot, I know today, but here's another example of human in the loop. And this looks fantastic, so I'm gonna go ahead and approve this plan. And while it starts working on that, I wanna point out something that's in the plan. It said that I found all of the tasks except for one, but I found this alternative. Was this what you really meant? I had a mistake in my whiteboard diagram, and I had the task name wrong. It was able to use its autonomy to suggest another task that was really close, but also raised it, utilizing the guardrails to make sure that I had the control to know and accept what was going to be created, showing that a balance between human judgment and automation. So our Journeys agent's already started working, and we're seeing all the updates live. We saw the audience happen, and it's done the journey purpose and goal, the holdout control groups and the limits, as well as the schedule. And it's already gone ahead and put a ton of stuff on the canvas for me. This again goes back to that collaboration. It's not only adding the nodes to the diagram, but it's linking the tasks that I had already found. And this is happening way faster than I can draw this out. So as it finishes up, I had also asked it to do some personalization to the tasks that we're leveraging in this journey. I didn't give it a lot of information, just that it needed to be done. And what we're gonna see is that if I open the personalization view, is that it's gone ahead and mapped those personalization variables. So the agent's just now finishing up and is gonna create me a summary of everything that it's done, making all of this action way more digestible. But we can also leverage other ways to see what the agent's done. It's given me a summary. It's told me specifically what decisions it made based on the information that provided, but wasn't maybe necessarily directly what I had written. But we can also take this review tour. This review tour is going to take me through each of the changes that were made, specifically listing them out but also physically navigating the UI for me so I can see them where they live. Obviously providing a lot of transparency and really helping you as agents become more effective and better, and you get more work done quicker, reviewing that more. The pre-planning can be quite a bit of a bottleneck for the human step, but this allows you to review more quicker. So Mac, we've shown this journey agent quite a lot. What do you think about giving the search agent some love?
Let's do it.
Okay, let's do it. So let's ask the search agent something like, what do you think about how long do my audiences normally take to run? That a good one?
I think so. I'm interested to see what it says.
Yeah, I mean, this is a really important question for marketers. They need to know when to run their audience so that they know when they can schedule to run the journey. So the data is there, it's available, and it's up to date. So really being able to schedule things at the right time is such an important question, and this is something the agent can help with. We see, average run times, fastest, slowest, kind of gives you the idea of, when you should schedule things. Should we try one more?
Yeah, let's, why not?
Okay, what were you thinking?
Let's see which tasks in CI360 need my attention right now. So this is going to be a little bit more generic. We're going to rely on the agent to kind of figure out what that means. We'd expect it to look for things that might have errors or be out of sync. And it'll raise it to us. We'll be able to view those objects directly. I think something that's really cool about the search agent is when we set off doing our first agents release, this wasn't even the plan. We built these search capabilities for our journeys agent to be able to find objects in the system. And it just turns out that it was able to do this as well, and we're able to expose it to our users. So I think it's incredibly useful.
So there's all of our information, and these are actually links to the task. I don't have time to show it, but let's jump into the next demo real quick. We're gonna have to speed run this one.
Okay, we'll go quick here. So we're going to go outside of CI360 real quick. This is where we actually develop agents and research them. So Cameron has a really cool demo for us to wrap up with.
Yeah, so I've been working with the agents to analyze my data, and I'm going to ask when do my emails get the most clicks? So I've gone ahead and analyzed some data with these agents. And if you missed the session yesterday where we went more in depth on this, please stop by the booth. But I've gone through and looked at my revenue, what's getting the most product views, and then also dived into what products are being viewed after emails open, what products are being viewed by people who have saving accounts, just to name a few. So I'm getting a lot of data back, and we're getting visualizations. And this can help me kind of come up with the strategy for a campaign. Obviously, this is just a few questions I could ask. I've gone ahead and run this before just to save us some time. Here is how I can export this data to go share with the other teams that I might be working with, maybe take it to my content team and show kind of the data that I'm seeing. And then I can leverage this to create a campaign. So if I come into the workspace again, I'm going to upload that PDF document, as well as a marketing campaign brief and some email templates of emails I want to create. And I'm going to ask it to create me this campaign. So it's going to analyze all of this information. So I've given it the data, I've given it a brief that outlines the journey I want to create, as well as an audience that I want to create. The audience, I just kind of put it in natural language. I didn't really go into details about the data. I didn't actually say anything about the data or where to get the data. It's going to go figure out where to get that data to create this audience. Then I also uploaded, I mentioned those email templates. So I have assets that I want to use in these emails, as well as images of the email layouts that I want to create in HTML for this campaign. So the agent's gone out and found that information and has developed me a plan. And we see this plan's actually quite large. It's got 8 different steps. But with agents, we can do this a lot faster. 8 steps might take a long time for a human, but these agents can run in parallel. And we're going to pull in like 8 or 9 different agents to create all of this material for a campaign that's executable based on the data that we found from that analysis. So Mac, you were talking about earlier, those 4 areas that you want to see us. We've already kind of released our research capability with our Copilot. Now we're touching those other 3 with the data analysis, the operation, and the search. So that's really just showing how flexible these agents are. We see that we've already started pulling in some of these agents and they're working in parallel. It's gone ahead and create the SMS messages for me, as well as the push. It's already started working on the emails, and we're going to see the email actually get written live when the HTML gets streamed back, and it's going to look like the agent's actually writing it out, which is pretty cool. It's going to utilize those assets that I uploaded. And it's also seeing that it's worked on the audience for me and is working on this journey. It's still in progress, so we'll give it a couple more seconds. So here's that email that's getting written out. So I know we only have a couple of minutes left, but Matt, can we start to summarize some of the stuff that we're seeing today and how this really both changes and doesn't change a marketer's everyday workflow?
Yeah, I think what's really cool about this demonstration is we're following the same marketing life cycle that everyone knows and loves today. But again, going back to the beginning of this presentation, we're really focusing on in what areas can agents be great executors for us. And so what you're seeing here is we used a data agent. We got insights, opportunity in the data, what's the best time of day to send emails, all of that. We're taking those insights, we're strategizing with our team, designing all of our content, and we're going back into CI360, and again, leaning on agents as executors to build out this campaign for us. So I know that this is just in our development environment. It's not in CI360 quite yet, but I hope it shows you where we're headed, and we're really excited to continue adding these agents into our solution over time. And so, go ahead.
Yeah, so just to kind of bring us back to close, I know we're running short on time, but just wanted to kind of summarize today about how we're making marketers dramatically more effective.
Absolutely, yeah. Just going back to our question, we don't think marketing teams are going anywhere. We adamantly believe that, but we think that marketers are going to be dramatically more productive with trustworthy agents. If you're interested in learning more, I'd encourage you to scan that QR code. Also, feel free to find me or shoot me an email if you want to get early access if you're a CI360 customer. With that being said, we're going to head over to Theater 2. Steve Hill, our VP of Software as a Service, is about to do another great CI360 demo in about 10 minutes. But thank you all for your time.